Greetings everyone, this is Bakar Corby from TFT Perspective, and today we are going to briefly cover the transition taking place in the United States, how Trump is forming his team, and has Trump already taken over the US presidency because he's supposed to be inaugurated on 20th of January as per the constitution, and we still have about 70 days left. And I was just listening to Jack Sullivan, who's the NSA with Biden. He was saying that we still have 70 days and they are going to arm and equip Ukraine. So there's a big tussle going. There were also reports of some commotion in the Pentagon because the generals and the security establishment is worried. Although Trump denied that he was not following Project 2025, but now as things come out and we look at the appointments, some of that I'll mention. We find that maybe he's going beyond Project 2025 by the Heritage Foundation, and we'll see how everything figures out. So we start with a call, and this is a very strange news that Western media, including all the mainstream channels, are reporting that Trump called Putin. And mind you, Putin did not call him, but Trump called Putin and probably talked about certain options related to peace in Ukraine. And before the elections, he, I think, very categorically stated that even during transition period, when he will become president-elect, he is going to talk to both President Zelensky of Ukraine and President Putin of Russian Federation to stop it. He almost said that to finish it, and through probably a deal. He is a big deal maker, and I think the option given was probably land for peace. So it means that whatever Russia has gained, and if you look at the map starting from the north, it's basically Donbass region is almost taken by Russia with few pockets left. Then you have Zaporozhye, and then you come down to Crimea. So it's almost one-fifth of Ukrainian real estate. They have also lost almost four-fifth of their seaboard, and they're left with, I think, only Odessa as one of the ports. So probably Trump will be looking for that because Putin, Trump have some chemistry. But now comes the big establishment, and the statement by Biden's NSA, Jack Sullivan, is very, very important when he says that we're going to keep on. The total cost to the exchequer of the West in direct terms is closer to more than, I think, $350 billion dollars. I think half with US and half with Europe. But indirect, I think, cost related to settlement of Ukrainians in Europe and other things, and aid for non-military aid, I think it's now getting closer to $600 billion plus. And in case the war doesn't stop, it's going to cross $1 trillion. And the kind of loss Ukraine has suffered is enormous in terms of man material and real estate. On the other side, I think there is a news, actually, some media like BBC is reporting that probably Russia has declined or denied that there was any such talk. So I think that is a big jolt for the US establishment. That one, their president-elect approached Putin and how he was responsive is quite rude. But I don't know what went on. Was there understanding that Trump would claim that he had talked and then he can deny it, Mr. Putin? Why Russians are saying no, or let's say they are denying that there was any talk? I think there are reasons. Like militarily, they are in a very strong position. There are reports now. In last, I think, 1 week, they had the fastest advance by capturing 500 to, I think, 1,000 square kilometers in 1 week. They've already surrounded the Ukrainian forces in Kursk salient, and where we have reports of North Korean forces also present. And Putin very much understand that what was promised by Trump, and this is during transition time, Ukraine will be at its weakest, because Trump even, I think, mentioned that every time Zelensky visits DC, he gets his pockets full with $60 billion, and he said he's a good businessman or something like that. So this is, I think, quite amazing situation, and we did project that transition period will not be very smooth because technically President Biden is the president of the United States with all the powers, and he can take policy decisions. His team can take policy decisions, but the way President-elect Trump is now basically contacting different leaders and maybe assuming the command, it appears that he has already taken over the White House. So I think this is going to be very, very interesting. Is it going to result into further instability, further commotion in the White House, in the NSA's team, in the Pentagon? So we'll have to see. Now we come quickly to the appointments, or let's say the uh, people picked up by Trump so far. So we have the Chief of Staff, Susie Wiles. She's 67-year-old, quite a hardliner, and she was the one who was leading Trump's election campaign. And we'll see that how does she perform, but mainly she's going to be the person very close to, as close as the pillow to Trump. Then we have Mike Wald as NSA, National Security Advisor, and again a hardliner. He's supposed to be a specialist in Afghanistan, then of course Ukraine and the Far East, including Indo-Pacific. So it means that probably and also Middle East. So it means that Trump's hardline policy in the Middle East and Indo-Pacific may figure out. For the border control, there's a new assignment called the Border Czar. It's a Tom Homan. Tom Homan is again, I think last time he had some deputy level assignment by Trump. But this time I was seeing him in Fox News that he's saying that he's going to make sure to get hold of every illegal immigrant and deport him. And there he has a huge challenge of deporting millions of people, and there is a lot of I think commotion in that sense. Then you have the U.S. Representative in the UN or UN ambassador Alice Stefanik, again a hardliner, pro-Zionist, and we know what role is going to be there, especially when they're going to veto anything related to Israel. Mark Rubio comes up as the Secretary of State. So I think this is going to be very, very interesting because there were certain names like, Zalmay Khalilzad being propped up by some of the media in India and even Pakistan. He's not been given any assignment so far. So Mark Rubio is going to be the Secretary of State. The two, people have been said goodbye by Trump. One is Mike Pompeo, and then is Nikki Haley for their, I think, opposition to Trump's presidential campaign. When it was being decided within the Republican during debates, I think he didn't feel. So mainly his I think, message is that anyone who is a true loyalist is going to find a space. So it's going to be very interesting. There's also a name being propped up, Keshav Patel. He was again in the Trump's advisory team for the election, definitely very close, or Cash Patel, and Indian media is, giving him a lot of boosts. Maybe he's picked up as the CIA chief by Trump. Well, let's see. I'm sure he's going to look at the American interest and not the Indian interest, being, American citizen. So this was all about a quick summary of what is happening. Two, three conclusion. One, Russia-Ukraine war may take a sudden, I think, surge before President Trump is finally sworn in on 20th January. So it means it's going to be, these 70 days are going to be very, very hard for Ukraine. Number two, the transition is not going to be very smooth. It appears the establishment is now hell-bent in, putting obstacles to smooth transition. So there are going to be a lot of briefing by CIA and FBI and the NIA, and the president does depend upon them. So they're going to be there's also going to be a meet between Biden and Trump, where I think the outgoing president briefs him formally what advice he's going to give him. There's also talk of tension between Biden and Harris in the in the last days, and then of course is the Trump's team. It appears that despite denials by Trump, Project 2025 is very much alive. And those who want to peep into what will be Trump's policy, I think they should go through this document. It's going to be very, very decisive on how Trump is going to dismantle this US establishment. Thank you very much.